Without further ado, I'm going to turn it over. Professor Saterfield is going to talk to us about effective communication techniques and how to bring cohesiveness and bring back fun into the classroom. So take good notes, okay? This is good stuff.
Awesome. All right. Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey.
Oh, that's the energy I love to hear, especially on a Friday, right? Okay. Great to have you all here. So I'm even going to help you out with your note-taking part, okay? You all already get gifts. All right. Here you go. All right. So you're very welcome. Here, take one, pass one down. All right. No problem. All right, let's have a conversation. This is great. So first of all, I'm very excited to be here with you all today. All right. I love talking to future teachers and educators. Well, actually, you're not future teachers. You're already teachers, right? You're already actual teachers here. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and then we're going to get rolling. All right. Now, anytime that I have a conversation at all, I have a little game that I play. I'm big on call and response. All right. So I'm going to talk to you about all kinds of things today as it pertains to being an amazing educator, as it pertains to creating fun, as it pertains to like creating that actual cohesion to where the classroom's not just a classroom, it's an actual community. All right. So I'm going to say, sometimes I'll say something and I'll say, does that sound good or great? How do you think I want you to respond?
Great.
Great, right? All right, good. So here we go. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Kalonji Saterfield. Has anybody heard that name before? No, right? Okay, good. So Kalonji means man of victory in Swahili. Okay. My middle name is Latif, so my name is Kalonji Latif Saterfield. The name Latif means man of peace in Swahili. So I win peacefully. Okay, right? All right, cool. So my parents got it straight out of a Swahili book. All right, I'm originally from the Inland Empire area, San Bernardino County. All right, I went to a small school for my undergrad called Cal State Stanislaus. Have any of you heard of that school?
No.
Yes.
No, you have. Yes, okay. It is in the Central Valley area, and the way that I came about Stanislaus was this. In high school, I was part of a program known as AVID, okay? AVID graduate here, all right? We were one of the experiments. We were the first graduating class of AVID in the whole county there, all right? Our junior year, we did this big Northern California road trip where for 4 days we visited over 8 schools. Got to stay on a charter bus, and we came across this small school called Cal State Stanislaus. And I was an awkward kid. I was shy, believe it or not, all right? Extremely insecure, okay, as a high schooler. And I knew that I needed to go away from home because I was a bit of a mama's boy, okay? But I was afraid of going to a big school because I thought I'd get lost in the shuffle, and I wasn't a great student. And so Stanislaus was amazing. 7,000 students went there, student-to-teacher ratio of 22-1, all right? 7 lakes on actual campus. I loved it. And so I became a big fish in a small pond, did my bachelor's in organizational communications, minored in journalism, and then came back to Southern California because who wouldn't want to be in Southern California, right? I did my master's program in mass communications and minored in TV film, and this is why. This was my goal at the time. I talked earlier about how we changed careers, okay, multiple times. So at the time, I was, the reason I got my master's in emphasis in TV film, I was going to become this big hotshot film director, okay, all right? I was going to marry Halle Berry and have 2 kids, right? Like, that was my goal. Didn't work out that way, but what I realized was I love education. I love higher education. I've been working in higher education since I was 21 years old. From K through 12 as a teacher's aide to pre-service teaching programs. I ran a pathways to teaching program at Santiago Canyon College and then went to Santa Ana College and ran their actual Center for Teacher Ed program. And so that conference that she's mentioning, I coordinated that for four years, all right? And then became a full-time college professor in the Communication Studies department, okay? So that's a little bit about me, all right? So enough about that. Let's talk about this, all right? So this is what we're going to talk about today. Can I dim one of the lights back there?
Of course.
Okay. You'll get that? Awesome! So this is what we're going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, and this is not going to be me speaking the whole time. We're going to have a conversation back and forth. You are going to play today as well, ladies and gentlemen. That's a part of the series, right? You're going to actually play. All right, so we're going to learn this. We're going to talk specifically about the following things. Okay, number one, I'm going to talk to you about, we're going to have a conversation about how you actually create a powerful and cohesive classroom to where everybody is there for each one another. right? To where it's not just you as the facilitator of the learners. You create a classroom where everybody else assists each other. Everybody has that support from one another. We're going to talk about merging learning with fun, as I like to call it, edutainment, okay? Actually merging that, all right? And then how you build strong one-on-one relationships with your actual students, okay? Once again, my background is communication, so that's what it's all about. So let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. So first thing, creating a cohesive classroom. So you'll see in your brochure that you have right there, and feel free to write it if you'd like. I want you all, when it comes to creating a cohesive classroom, my point is that self-disclosure is one of the ways you do it. Let's have a conversation. Why? First of all, let's talk about this. What is self-disclosure? What does it mean to self-disclose? Yeah, please.
To tell some truths about yourself that you wouldn't normally tell people.
Got you, right? Right? So basically not to state the obvious about yourself, to kind of open up and share a little bit about who you are, right? Okay, it's self-disclosing information about yourself. Okay, good. Great definition, perfect. Let's talk about it. Why should you do that? What are the positive impacts of students feeling comfortable of self-disclosing? Yeah, please.
Some people can relate to how you grew up, maybe where you grew up, they can relate and they feel comfortable enough to open up and maybe participate.
Yes.
And be open to learning.
Good, right? It opens up that space, right? Kids have to deal with a whole lot, right, in environments, and being afraid of being judged, all right, not feeling that you're different are common things that these kids are coming to the classroom with. And so promoting self-disclosure and opening up can create relatedness among you, right? You can't have a relationship with anybody without self-disclosure. It's impossible, okay? So good, so those are all great things. So let's talk about ways that I do it in my classrooms, okay? And yeah, let's take a look at it. So self-disclosure, two big things that I do in my classroom, all right? We call it a classmate interview that I do in any of my classes, whether I'm teaching a public speaking class, whether I'm teaching an intercultural communication class, interpersonal. They do an interview of each other. I have them get into teams of 2, and they ask each other 4 or 5 actual questions. And then that student shares to the class about their best friend, their new best friend that they just met in the class. All right? And then that best friend shares about them. First day, they're already actually sharing. All right? I get them used to that from the jump. I also do an assignment called a vision board assignment. Who in here knows what a vision board is? Can explain it to us. I know you do. You want to try it first?
Isn't it you create what makes you who you are, or what you think you will represent in a visual way?
Good. You're right there on the right track. So a vision board, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Okay, you literally get a board. You can get it at a Walmart, Target, as I like to call it. Okay, you get a board. And your vision board is a bunch of images, words, phrases, okay, pictures that represent what's important to you in life and what you're up to in life. Your aspirations, your inspirations, your dreams. What else do you think? Where's the power in that? Good, a motivation.
Who you are, or maybe where you come from, and what you want to do for yourself in the future.
Beautiful, great, yes. It's all of that, right? Hey, you ever have a goal? And it was the same goal you had 5 years ago? And it was the same goal you had 7 years ago? And you're like, I'm going to get around to it, right? That vision board punches you right in the mouth, right? And it acts as an inspiration. There's a reason why all of you got out of bed this morning, yeah? There's a reason why. I don't know about you all, but I have this love-hate relationship with the alarm clock on this thing. Okay, right? Okay, it goes off, and sometimes I want to grab it and I want to throw it, right? I want to turn back over, I want to go to sleep, right? But I can't. I got 150 students that need me to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? Okay, I got a little niece and nephew that I want to go see, right? A brother and sister, a fiance that I got to make sure she feels amazing. That gets me out of bed in the morning. That vision board is a representation of what gets you out of bed in the morning, right? Nothing strengthens a resolve more than those things. So my students create them, and guess what they do? They share it with the class. They share them with the class, okay? Once again, self-disclosure. Now they're opening up. Do those students end up creating relatedness? Yeah. Oh my God, you have a brother with special needs too? That's amazing. I didn't know that, right? Those two are now connected, okay? You're a first generation college student? That is amazing, right? I want them to be friends. I want them to like each other. I want them to be there for each other. So this is what they do too. And as great educators, you all know, you never provide an assignment or something that you're not willing to go first on, right? Starts with you. Do they get to see my vision board? Absolutely, absolutely. These are things that they learn about their college professor, okay? They know that their professor is a bit of a thrill seeker, has bungee jumped 4 times, has jumped out of 3 airplanes, okay? They know that about him. They know that he's a huge Batman fan ever since he was 6 years old and got to go to Warner Brothers studio and ride on the actual Bat Pod, okay? They also know that he's recently engaged, and upon getting engaged, he had to become a stepdad to a cat named Granger and a dog named Jaylee Lou. Okay? They know that. They know that his fiance, he loves her to death, and they went to Los Cabos, Mexico, and drove on quad races. I share those things throughout the semester with them. Why do I do that? Why do I do that, y'all? Why do I self-disclose to my students? Now, I don't tell them everything, right? But I'm open enough to share about me. Why would I do something like that?
So you might seem more approachable.
Yes, yeah.
So they don't forget that you're actually a person with them.
I'm a human being, right? I don't know if this has happened to any of you all educators. We talk about this. If you've ever had a student see you like in a supermarket, right? A student see you in the supermarket, and Professor Saterfield, what are you doing here? I'm getting lettuce, buddy. Lettuce. You shop? Yes, I actually shop. Okay, I'm a human being, right? Now I'm more relatable, right? So that shy student feels like they're open enough to come talk to me, right? I'm not from this planet, inhabited by the wicker people. Okay, I'm a human being. All right. So real important. Let's talk about this now. This is a big one that I do as well. I declare a classroom motto. And this is my motto. Any class that I teach, put it on the board. They walk in, first day they see it. And the motto of my class is that everybody gets it. Everybody gets it. What do you think I mean by that? Everybody gets it. Well, I do an exercise like this. Okay, let's talk. What's your name? Hi, Catherine. How you doing? Don't get nervous. We're all friends here. I love it. All right, Catherine. So let's pretend you all are students of mine, okay? So, Catherine, here we go. You're a student of mine. The motto of my class is everybody gets it. So let me ask you this, Catherine. What grade are you going to get in this class?
An A.
That's what I'm talking about. That's great. Good. Catherine, who's responsible for you getting that A?
Me.
I love it. Self-accountability, right? She said me. It starts here. Okay, great. Who else is responsible to help you get that A?
My professor.
Me, right? The penny. Okay, right? Good. I got to help you do that. Now, Catherine, there's a third entity that is responsible for you being successful in this classroom. Who do you think it is, Catherine? Anybody can help her out. What do you think? Yeah.
The environment that she in, maybe
Cool.
like home.
Okay, let's stay here. In this classroom. You're right. Yeah, her home environment, definitely. Good. In this classroom. Who else is responsible?
Her peers.
So, Catherine, I want you to check this out. Not only are you going to make sure you're successful, I am going to make sure that you're successful. And you have 30 other people in this room that's going to help you be successful. Is that good or great?
Great.
Is that good or great?
Great.
Got you. So you are never alone. We got your back, right? We got your front, we got your back. That's what I mean by everybody gets it. Everybody gets it. You get that? And that is the motto of the class. If I have a student that didn't bring their Scantron and we're about to take a quiz and they try to run out to go get a Scantron, they're not allowed to do that. I say, what's going on? What's wrong? I need a Scantron. Classmate, our fellow student here needs a Scantron. Who can help him? 20 hands go up with a Scantron. You got that? You got that? You create that culture early on and it becomes unstoppable, right? So that is the thing that I do. And then here we go. I also have them create their classroom values, beliefs, goals, and norms. You know what those are all part of? A culture. This is what makes up any culture. Okay, cultures are made up of the norms, the values, a belief system, and the goals that they have. Whether it's your family culture, whether it's your religious culture, all of those things. And they do that, okay? And once again, the model is everybody gets it. So we're gonna do, time for y'all to do some work. You ready? This is what we're gonna do. You all are gonna create the classroom culture right now. So this is what I want you to do. We got 4 different aspects of it: values, beliefs, goals, and norms, right? All right, so let's go here. You two are gonna have a conversation and talk to me and create what are some of the values in this classroom right here. This is a pretend classroom, right? We should have. What are 4 or 5 things we should think are important being actual amazing students, okay? When I say go, you're gonna have a conversation and share a list out of those, okay? You two right here, okay? I want you to look at beliefs. What are things we should believe in as amazing students, okay? What are the beliefs that we should have, okay? Got that? All right, great. And then let's go to norms. I'm gonna do goals myself, all right? You all are gonna do norms. Norms are this. Norms are like practices, rituals. What are common things that we're gonna do once we actually enter this classroom? What are common norms and things that you're gonna do as a student before you get to the classroom, okay? You're gonna come up with a list of things of those and then we're gonna share out. Everybody got that? All right, cool. All right, you got 4 minutes on the clock, okay? And then we'll talk. Okay, let's go ahead and come back together. Do me a favor, clap it up, acknowledge your partners. Good job. Good job. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about values, my value group. What are some things that we should value as students in the classroom?
Number 1, we came up with inclusivity, equality, and tolerance.
Good, good. You should value actual inclusivity, right? Everybody's included, right? Great. Tolerance, meaning open-mindedness, right? Okay, great, good. And the third one was, of course, you said equity, right?
Equality.
Equality, right? Great.
And equity.
And then we did talk about equity because some students are not coming from the same place.
Yes.
So you have to give more support to some students to get everybody on the same level.
Love it. Great, cool, great. Let's clap it up for them. Let's clap it for them. All right, beliefs, talk to me. What are 2 or 3 things that we should believe in?
Well, we were just talking about how anybody could be successful with the right kind of help.
Great.
No matter where you come from.
Great, right? Now you're going to see some things cross over, right? Okay, well, that's the way culture works, right? Our values and our beliefs and all of those things, the goals, all those things cross over. Great. Everybody can be successful. So in this classroom, everybody can be successful, right? Not all teachers teach that way, by the way. Okay, right? Good. What's another one that you all came up with?
Never be afraid to ask questions.
And why is that?
Because you need to know something. Ask. At the same time, you probably be answering somebody else's question that probably doesn't have. They're probably shy to ask the questions, or they don't know how to approach.
Yeah.
The question, but you're answering other people's questions.
Yeah, and you're also answering your own, right?
Yeah,
So
you're
we talked
learning.
about the belief. The belief is if I ask questions, it assists me in learning.
Exactly.
And it also assists other
Other
people
people.
in learning. That is part of your belief system in the classroom. Awesome. That's great. Cool. Let's clap it up for them. Good job. All right. Let's go to my norms group. Talk to me. What are some norms that you should have as successful students?
We have to prepare prepare lesson before we come. We can read it from the book. We can share our notes together
Good.
as a classmate. We have to review what happened in the previous class.
Mm-hmm.
We can go to a tutoring lab to get help from tutor if we have any question or something unclear.
Mm-hmm.
We can check websites to looking for sources or understanding some stuff about the class.
Good, great. Utilizing your resources, right? Well, whether it's online, whether it's on campus, that's going to be a norm that you're going to do. Come to class actually prepared, right? Having your assignments in on time. We love that, okay? Even early, right? All of those things are part of the actual norms that you're going to do. Great, great. Entering class on time, right? Okay, even early, right? Those are all going to be part of your actual norms, right? Great, cool. Clap it up for them. That's great. And then goals. I mean, you can think about what goals you're going to have for the class. My goal is everybody passes this class, okay? Everybody passes this class and we do it together, right? And then this is what happens in my classes. Now, this is hard because I'm at a college, so I can't do this, but you're all looking at being K through 12 teachers, is that right? Possibly high school, college.
Well, I'm not in any.
Okay, great. Well, this is the advantage that they have that we don't. Okay, you can actually post stuff in your classrooms if you're not a frequent flyer. You get to access it. We can't do that. All right, but I post. I even put, if I could, I would put on the board in my classroom what the classroom goals are, what the beliefs are, what the norms are, along with my motto. And it's up there every single day, and they always see it. And when somebody does something contrary to those things, I point to them. All right, so for example, you see right here, I have zero indifference, not tolerance, okay? I have restorative justice. What do I mean by those two terminologies? Well, oftentimes we say zero tolerance, and it has a very negative connotation, right? Okay? Zero indifference is more like this. It's that you don't allow people to disrupt the classroom culture, all right? If that happens, you address it. But it's less about punishment, and it's more about restorative justice, creating actual understanding of the impact. So if I have a student that makes fun of another student, I let them know that, that's not tolerated, that's not how things work, so we're gonna have a conversation after class, right? I'm gonna talk to that student, all right? And I'm gonna say, now why do you think that wasn't good for you to do that? And I'm gonna let them tell me why, okay? And once that student has a firm understanding, I'm gonna invite the student that they made fun of, and then the three of us are gonna have a conversation. We're gonna have a conversation, and that student's gonna make it right. That student gets the opportunity to make it right. Now, why is that so much more powerful, okay? Unfortunately, sometimes in our current system, when it comes to punishment, we punish and we do not reform, okay? I have friends, relatives that have been to prison, okay? And they're not better when they come out. You say, hey, reform, and they laugh at you, right? They say, all I learned how was to become a better criminal. That's all I learned while I was in actual prison, right? Versus restorative justice, that student that I just helped and mediate that conversation with, they made it right. They're gonna take that skill to the next situation. You get that? Does that not go along with the whole creating classroom community versus me just punishing that student? You get that? Yeah, good or great?
Right?
Right.
Yeah, it's really, really good stuff. Okay, let's keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and then the last thing here is getting students to help and learn from each other, right? Why is that important? Well, first of all, it's a lot easier to teach a classroom where everybody's teaching each other versus you being the one man, one woman show, okay, up there, right? It creates that actual cohesion. So let's move forward. I want to go ahead and get to this next part because this is a big one. I like to create classroom community service projects. Okay, I create those. I love doing that. And it's been everything from, I do an annual Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader night. Okay, when I was advisor for our Future Teacher Club, we did this every year where we bring in the whole community. We go to a fifth grade classroom and we teach the kids over a month some of the things that may be asked of them on there. And then I have our college students battle against those fifth graders, right? And the community comes out, their parents cheer the little fifth graders on, right? It's an amazing, amazing event, all right? I do that. And I get volunteers from my classes to come help out, right? You get that? I've done trivia nights for them, Feed the Homeless Day. I may say, hey, I'm going to feed the homeless in the community. Who wants to come with me? Who wants to come with me? I'm doing it this day, okay? I do those types of things. Now, let me ask you this. Let's first talk about this. Possible projects. I want you to think on your own, okay? For time's sake, we'll move forward, but I want you to think about this second part. Why? Why is that a good thing to do? What are the possible positive impacts on your classroom if students see that you're doing things that support the community and you're doing programs like those? What do you think? Why is that a good thing? Yeah, please.
It might inspire them to also participate and help out the community in other ways.
Good, great, yeah, please, yes, it's a great, yeah.
Involvement, and they get to learn from doing activities like helping out the homeless, that they're doing something good. So in reverse, like they learn from that action that, oh, I can make a difference in somebody's life.
Yes, 110%, yes, please.
The student or the people will feel trust in themselves that they are good, they can do something good.
Great,
Yeah.
yeah,
When someone feels that he is good in something,
yes.
it makes him be creative and make him feel hope in his life.
Well said. 110%, right? Yeah.
Very important.
Yes, yes.
By doing that, you're paying it forward and teaching and being compassionate.
Yes.
Being compassionate towards other people, or being compassionate towards like animals, for example.
Yes.
You know, setting
Whatever
an
your
example.
cause.
Yeah.
No, you are, right? And if I'm going to tell these students, I want you to be there for each other and help each other out, don't I need to once again model that? Right? I need to model that. I need to be in their actual community doing things. Is that going to build trust between you and those students?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, you're building them up. Anything to build a student up, right, is amazing. And say, wow, if I did this, it felt great. What else can I actually do, right? So and they're going to bring that to the classroom. And those students that didn't participate that first time that you did it, guess what's going to happen? They're going to hear all about it, right? And now you've built momentum. So when you create another project, you went from 6 students trying to help out to now you got 16 of them, right? You've created a movement now. Right? Okay? And movements cause paradigm shifts, right? And so it's a really big thing that you can do. All right, let's talk about creating the fun, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about some fun, all right? All right, great. So let me ask you a question. Do I look like I have fun?
Yes.
Every day, okay? Every day, all day as much as possible. Now, does that mean that I haven't been through some things? Of course I have, right? But they don't define who we are, right? They're a part of our story. They're not who we are, right? Great. And so edutainment, I believe everything. Learning and actual fun are not mutually exclusive, and we can actually bring those together. And students learn better when they know that they're going to enjoy themselves, all right? The biggest compliment a student could ever tell me is, Professor Saterfield, I get excited when I'm getting to come to your class, right? Like that's just, right? Okay, and them saying they're getting an A. Okay, that's the other caveat I love to hear. So let's talk about ways that we can create the fun 101. Starts with you. You got to be fun. Starts with you. Okay. Are there days when I have no energy? I'm tired. I was stuck in traffic for an hour and 15 minutes, and now I got to come to class and teach 4 classes back to back? Yes. They don't see that though. Just like that great parent who has a long day, and that little person comes to them and says, "Mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy." Right? Oh, I got you, right? Let me flip you. Okay, right? My niece and nephew, right? I'm hoping they get tired soon. Okay, you keep flipping them, but they don't. Okay? But you don't do that because of emotional contagion. You know that little person, okay, it'll be contagious to them. So you bring that to your actual classroom. I play music in my actual classroom, in my environment. They come in, I'm playing music, I'm giving high fives. I have artifacts that are around depending on what we're talking about that day. I have visuals, all kinds of visuals throughout the semester that they're going to see, that they're just going to love, right? I'm just keeping them engaged at the whole time, all right? Students bringing food. We're not supposed to, but okay, we're bringing some food sometimes for our actual students as well. It's really, really big. And so these are things that I do to create that environment, all right? Let's get to some games, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get to some games, okay? 2 more. There we go. You want to look for interactiveness and collaboration everywhere. The more you can do to where you're not talking and they're learning from each other, the better. And guess what? As instructors, as educators, you'll love that. It's just funner. It's just funner for you, okay? It really is. I watch game shows just to pick up ideas of things that I can do for my classes. And you're going to play some of those game shows right now, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I do all of those things. So let's talk about it. Here we go. These are 3 games that we are going to play. I will set up the room. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool. We'll do it. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so I need 6 volunteers. 6 volunteers, cool. Come on up. You can come on up. Yeah, come on down. Yeah, my man, there you go. Come on down. Yep, yep. Oh yeah. Come on down. Come on down. There you go. Come on down. Have a seat. I need one of these sides. There we go. Have a seat. All right. Come on, hey, teachers are leaders, right? Teachers are leaders. Please, would you please come volunteer? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Come on down. There we go. There we go. Let's talk about it. Okay, cool. Great. So instead of just doing a hey, these are the things you should study for a test. Okay? I do game day. All right? I do game day. So about 2 weeks before the actual midterm or final, they're broken up into teams. Okay? And then they have to select certain things that are going to be on the test to study real hard for. They're going to participate in that part of the game. All right? So we'll say that this is the West Side team. You're representing the West Side team. This is the East Side team. You're representing the East Side team, right? So the audience is going to cheer for their team, right? Friendly competition. I ask them questions. So this is team question 1. So I'm going to ask you a question. This is how it works. If you know the answer, raise your hand. First one to raise your hand and answers it correct gets a point for their team. Got that? Whether it's East Coast, West Coast, right? I have somebody put it on the board, and there we go. So here we go. You ready? Now, here's the thing. If you get the question wrong, the other team gets the point, and then they have 5 seconds to steal it and be able to ask it correct. So they can get 2 points. So don't just keep throwing your hand up, all right, and guessing, all right? And you'll be giving away points, all right? You ready? Here we go. First question. It's going to be a little mixed bag here. Oh, thank you. Yes. Thank you. All right, first question. Here we go. First question is this. The study of space and the planets is known as what? Yes.
Astronomy.
Clap it up for East Side. There we go. East Coast. All right, there we go. Next one. Here we go. Okay. You'll have to tell me this one. I know you all know this answer. What is the mascot of West LA College?
Any side?
Yes.
Wildcat?
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Clap it up for East Side. I didn't know something out there. I didn't know either. I just learned what it was. All right, great. Okay, here we go. Let's do this one. You ready? Here we go. All right, here we go. Name the first and last name of the president prior to Donald Trump. Thank you. Yes, please.
President Barack Obama.
Clap it for the West Coast! Here we go! You're on the board! Okay, here we go. Let's talk about teaching wise. Let's see if we can get this one. In order to become an elementary school teacher, what kind of credential do you need?
Multiple subjects.
Clap it for the West Coast! All right! Go back to your seats. Good job, everybody. Good job. All right, awesome. All right, very nice.
Came back. I know.
And actually, I'm going to have Meridius come on down. Won't you come on down? Yes, indeed. I'm going to need one more volunteer. Let's see here. Do you want to come on down? Yeah, please. That'd be great. You want to come on down?
Oh, okay.
And then, kind sir, would you come on down? All right, next game. Now, normally I have more students to play this one. All right, so I would have them go head to head. So here we go. For my future math teachers, or you want to learn actual math and how to teach math and have fun with it, is this. So this is how this is going to work, okay? This is a numbers game, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So what's going to happen is I'm going to say a 4-digit number. You got that? Now, normally I'd have 4 chairs representing the East Side and 4 representing the West Side, right? And it's a race, okay? So what's going to happen? I'm going to say a 4-digit number. On each of these cards, there's a different number. So you're going to run and get that one. You get yours, that one, that one. You then need to rearrange yourself to where you're able to say the number correctly. Meaning this is the first number you need to do, second, third, fourth. Once you arrange it, everybody sits down, puts the number up. Okay, you want to do it as fast as possible. And the 2 teams will be going head to head as far as doing it. So we're going to do a practice round, so take your time. All right? This is time to model. Are you ready? Okay, here's the number I want you to get in order. Okay? 1,234. Go.
Oh, we have the same place?
There you go. Yep. Sit down, put them up in the air. And time. Clap it up for it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay, give it back to me. Here we go. Set them down. Let's go ahead and switch this around a little bit. Okay. Next number I want you to do is the following. Let's see here. What do I want to do this time? Let's go with, when I say go, I want you to arrange yourself in the following number. 2,431. Go. 2,431. Sit down. Put them up.
31.
There you go, switch. Time. Clap it up for it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, okay, stay here. We're not done yet. Now, once again, we have to go head up, right? And the team that wins will get 4 points for that actual round. Okay, got that? Great. Let's play again. Let's do a little bit of world history. ladies and gentlemen. There we go. All right, so this time what I want you to do, you have a different war on your card here, okay? Make sure. Good. There we go. Okay. When I say go, I want you to arrange yourself in order of the earliest war, the most recent one over there. Okay? Everybody got that? All right, remember.
Yours are on there?
Nope. Yours are not on there. It's just the name of the war. Okay? So let's try it out. Remember, the class motto is everybody gets it. You're going to help each other out, right? You ready? And go!
American Civil War. American Revolutionary. Okay, so that's first, I think, and then this one.
Yeah, she's right. Switch.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Put them up in the air. Let's see them. We got it. American Revolutionary War, Civil War. Yep. World War II. Vietnam. Clap it up for us, ladies. Good. All right. All right. Good. Good. One more round. One more round. Here we go. Let's talk about presidents, ladies and gentlemen. Presidents. Okay. On this card, you have a different president that is on here. Our nation, I want you to get in order of the earliest president and the most recent president, and go!
Okay, that's on the 6 seconds. Okay.
Have a seat. Put them up. Okay, we had Abe Lincoln, then
Yeah.
Kennedy, Nixon, Bush. That's correct, right? Clap it up for them. All right, now you may go back to your seats. Give them one more round of applause. Good job. All right. Okay. Oh, we're not done yet. We're about to have some more fun. All right, cool. So now this is part of my game day. Like I do this for a whole 2 class periods with my students, okay? This is the next game we're gonna play. All right, let's talk about it. I call it Trivia Taboo. All right, so for once again, my math people, okay? Who in here is good at math? Good, cool. Come on down. Come on down, yeah. Yeah, she needs a partner. She needs a teammate. Who'd like to be your teammate? There you go, come on down. Okay, good. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to decide who would like to give the clues and who would like to say the answer out of you two. You want?
Which one you want to do? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. You'll do the clue. Yeah, cool. All right, so you're going to sit here. And then you come with her. So this is how this one's going to work. This is for my math people, okay? Say, okay. I want to help students learn their multiplication. So here we go. This is how it's going to work, all right? She's going to see a number pop up on there, okay? She needs to get you to guess that actual number, okay? But she can't. She has to give you a multiplication problem, okay, in order for you to answer it. So she can't say it's the number after 4. She can't do that. She has to give a multiplication problem, okay? And the reason it's called Trivia Taboo is you can't use 1. You can't say 3 times 1 because that's ridiculously easy. You got it? So for example, here, we'll do a test run. You go? Okay, cool. What clue would you give her?
2 times 6. 2 times 3.
There you go. There you go. Good. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Good. Great. Let's do another one. Here you go.
That's 3 squared.
No.
Boom. Good. You got that? You got that? Okay, cool. So your goal is to try to get as many right in 30 seconds. You ready? You and your teams. All right. Hey, audience, let's give them a round of applause, please. Here we go. Let's do it. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Let's try it out. All right. 30 seconds on the clock and go.
2 times 4.
8.
2 times 3.
6.
7 times 3.
21.
4 times 3.
12.
3 squared. 4 times 7.
20.
5 times 4. Oh, 5 times 8.
40.
6 squared.
36.
5 times 10.
Clap it up for it, ladies and gentlemen. Good job. All right. Okay. All right. Cool. So that's a math one. All right. So here we go. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. You all did awesome, by the way. You did so good. You see that? Okay. Let's do it. So the next one here, we're going to actually look at history. History, influential people in history. All right. You got that? Same type of rules apply, except this time, there are going to be people's faces that pop up there. And you need to give her a clue, okay, that'll help her say the name. Now, the taboo part is, of course, you can't say, name starts with an M. You can't, like, do stuff like that, okay? Outside of that, free game. You ready?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I get help from the audience?
Yeah.
No, you can't. Yeah, all right. You're good. She's been doing great, too, so yeah, it's awesome. Okay, you ready? All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it. And go.
He was a fighter for African American, but he wanted to use
Martin Luther
violence.
King. Oh, no, Malcolm X.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
you can pass it.
pass.
Good. You can come back to it.
First president of the United States.
George Washington.
Oh, pass.
NWA.
Yeah, NWA.
Members of NWA. The movie Friday starred him.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Okay, yay. No, okay, let's pass.
I don't like movies.
It's okay. Here you go. Here you go.
She is influential. She was the previous wife, the previous president's wife.
First Lady Michelle Obama.
Yes.
There you go.
He came up with math problems. He's very smart. He didn't do good in
Einstein.
school. Yes.
There you go.
Albert Einstein.
Work.
I have
Singer?
no idea what that
She's
is.
a singer.
I don't listen to music either.
Okay, all right. All right, cool. Time. Clap it up for it, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look-see. We had Dr. Dre and Ice Cube. We had Rihanna. And then this was Cesar Chavez. That one's a little harder one. Okay.
Okay.
Somehow.
Good, great. They did great, right? Okay, I need 2 other volunteers. Give them a round of applause, ladies. 2 other volunteers, come on down. Teachers are leaders. Y'all got this. Teachers, yeah. Come on down.
It's really fun.
This one's gonna be words. This one's gonna be vocabulary words.
Oh.
Growth mindset.
Yeah.
That's right. This is how you grow. Come on down. Come on down. Come on down. Just try it. It's all good.
Keep going, keep going.
It's so good. We're all friends here, right? Right? We're all fun here. Okay. All right, good. So you're gonna give her a clue, okay, to get her to say the word that's up there. All right. And don't worry, if you don't get it, I'm gonna help you out.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is more like English vocabulary, education, things like that. You're gonna try to guess the word. You ready? Okay. All right. Here we go.
Parrot. A parrot is very
Parrots do this.
parrots. The bird parrot. They're very.
Opposite of quiet.
Mouth.
Uh,
I don't know.
pass. We'll come back. We'll come back. It's okay.
We experienced that some minorities experience this here in this country in the past.
Racism.
Good. What's another word for that? Starts with a P. I'm gonna cheat. Starts with a P. If you're it's okay. Prejudice. There we go. Yeah. Let's do it again. Here we go.
Okay, that's how we are. We're teaching the children. We are called.
Good. What's another word for it?
Another word.
Early education.
Good enough. Yep. Educator. There we go. Ooh, there we go.
Not subtraction, but
Addition.
not division, but
Multiplication.
Yes. There we go.
another word for water.
H2O.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, smart is a synonym for smart.
Intelligent.
Boom. One more.
Oh, this is a subject that deals with animals.
Like
This
CM or
subject that deals with animals, or major that deals with animals.
marine biology.
Close. Where do you go to see
Where do you
animals?
go? Yeah.
Aquarium.
Good
To
enough.
see the animals, the zoo.
To see.
There we go.
Yeah.
Zoology. There we go. Clap it up for it. You did good. Go back to the tree. You're good. You're good. Yeah, that's awesome. You did awesome. Great. Great. So once again, this is just something now. Are students competitive?
Oh,
Absolutely. Do they get into game day? Oh, they're licking their chops. They're like, yeah, we're gonna let y'all have it. Right? Like, they're talking smack, right? And are they learning the material?
Yeah.
Yes, right. So much better than just studying these 90 things for a test, right? And so it's a great thing that I created, and I think it creates fun in your classroom. Okay. All right. Cool. We're gonna move on to this because I want to get to interpersonal, actual relationship building because it's really important. If you're gonna create cohesion, if you're gonna have excitement, those students got to trust you and they got to trust each other. So there's certain ways that we can help create that as amazing educators, all right? And I'm going to share some of them. You have to show interest in their lives. You've got to care. You can't fake it because students can read that. You got to actually care about their lives. And there's 100 different ways that you can do it. Everything from just asking them about their actual lives. Yeah, definitely. I even allow them to make announcements. If my students are on a sports team or have a dance recital or whatever it is, I leave at least 5 minutes at the end of class. Announcements. Anybody want to share something with the class? Well, we got the big homecoming game. I really want y'all to come out. You know, right? All right, let's clap it up for Donnie. He's doing a homecoming game. Great. Right. Hey, I got a piano recital. I'm nervous about it. Okay, right. I'd love to just give me some love right now. Let's give him some love. He's gonna do great. Right. I got a chemistry test. I'm scared as heck. Right. Cool. Let's show him some love. He's got a chemistry test. Right. Have them share about themselves and be interested. And I tell all my students, I make them a deal. If you email me your schedule, as far as whatever, if you're part of a club, if you're in theater, if you're an athlete, I promise to come to at least one of your games. At least one. And I tell them ahead of time which one I'm going to come to. And I show up. And y'all can tell that I'm loud, yeah? Okay? They hear me, okay? And they see me. Do they look for me in the stands? I've even waited just to see. But, you know, you'll see them, is he here yet? And then when I'm like, they're like, oh. They're so excited. They're so happy that you actually just took a little bit out of your time to come see them, you know? And now you've created a bond with them, right? They're going to trust you so much more, even when you're a little bit critical of them. You built up some equity in that relationship, right? So it's very, 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 very powerful, all right, I think. And so I try to do that. And then, you know, you want to get help, okay? Use your resources. It's funny, one of my mentors told me when I first went to college, Kalonji, biggest part of college is use your resources. There are things there that are going to help you figure it out. You need money, you need to know about financial aid, grants, loans, scholarships, right? You need food, you need to know where the cheaper food is, okay? All of those things. Well, guess what? Teaching's no different. Sometimes you're not going to be the best person to influence that student. Get to their circle, though. If your student has a boyfriend or a girlfriend that just has them, okay, wrapped around their little finger, have a conversation with them. You don't always have to influence directly, all right? My mom was the one, okay? My teacher knew that if I wasn't listening to them, all they had to do was call my mom, okay, and have a 2-minute conversation. And Kalonji was right back, lock and step and ready to go, right? Like, no problem. Yes, please.
I just wanted to share this. I was working at a job and I had some student workers. I was working on a university campus and I had 2 student workers that one of them started, you know, like 1 year and the other one started the next year. So the first one, you know, we established a good relationship and she went through some financial aid situations and she told me how she resolved it. So then the next year when the other student came, the other one had left already, but they knew each other. And so she started telling me the situation she was going through. And I said, oh, call so-and-so. She can tell you how to deal with that. And so she called that person and she dealt with it.
Wow.
So it was just because I was listening to the one student and then shared it with the other student, and it was worked out.
There we go. And that's the end goal. It doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there, right? We're not doing it because we want credit, right? We want them to be successful, right? And so that's it. Get to their people of influence, you know? Sure, they're mentors. The other teachers that they may like better than you, okay? That's fine too. Right? Have them talk to that student for you as well, right? That's a great thing for us to do, all right? And then this is a big one, okay? And we're going to do an exercise before we talk about this one. So let's see here. Two. Oh, perfect. Okay. That's your partner. That's your partner. That's your partner. Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. I want you to do me a favor. So you two come on over here with me here. I want you to stand here. You two, can you come right here? Stand here to face each other. You two come on down all the way over here. All right. Okay. Yeah, you go right there, and then you two come on over here. There we go. And I want you to stand facing each other. Okay, you got that? Okay, great. I want you to decide. There we go. Yeah, stay even there. There we go. Okay. I want you to decide who wants to speak and who wants to listen. Between you and your partner. Of course you can. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, of course. Here, let's scoot down a little bit to let your instructor do it. Okay, got that? Okay, so decide who wants to speak and who wants to listen. Okay. All right, cool. Everybody got it? All right, great. Raise your hand if you're the speaker. Speakers, raise your hand. Oh, well, that's great. Look at that. Okay, good. All right. So you're my speakers. Okay, so speakers, this is what you're going to do for me. You're going to talk to your new friend here, and you're going to tell him all of the fun things you did last summer. Okay? If last summer stunk, okay, then choose the summer before that. Okay? And you're going to talk to your friend about that. You got that? Okay, great. All of my listeners, right? Listeners, raise your hand. Who are my listeners? Okay, listeners, this is what I want you to do. As they're telling you everything that they did last summer, I want you to pretend that what they are telling you is the most god-awful, uninteresting thing that you have ever heard in your life. You are to say nothing. I want you to give no positive feedback, okay? It's kind of like pretend like your mother was chastising you, okay? Remember that face?
Yeah.
So it should look something like this. Like that. You got that? Okay. Speakers, keep talking. You got that? All right, listeners, no positive, no smiling, no shaking the head, none of that. All right? Okay, you'll be able to hug it out afterwards. Okay, you ready? Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Utah, and we brought our camping gear out. It was really fun. We went and we had a whole bunch of other dinosaurs
I'm gonna let you off your misery. Stop time. Clap it up for him. Give your partner a high five. Give your partner a high five. Or a hug. Hug too. Are you good? Okay. All right. All right. Let's have a conversation. All right. You're doing everything but paying attention to you. All right. Okay, good. So let me talk to my speakers. Speakers, talk to me. What was that experience like? Somebody give me, for you, what was it like for you?
I mean, if this was if it was an actual situation,
Yeah.
I would feel so disrespected.
Yeah.
And I would feel angry because she was not even making any type of eye contact. She was doing she was fixing her dress. She took off her jacket. I was like, okay, but it was but because I knew,
Yeah.
it's funny.
Yeah, right? But in a situation, you'd be angry, right? Where I was saying communication studies, right? We're meaning-making machines, okay? Which means we receive information, we receive communications, and we automatically make it mean something, right? So you made it mean like they're being disrespectful to me, right? Good, great. You said they're not acknowledging me, right? Good. How about yourself? What was it like for you
Well,
to have a colleague?
Marie's not a great, sorry, Dr. Smith is not a great, silent listener. She was really distracting me because she was so clearly not, she was trying to not engage.
Yes.
It was hard for her. I could see that was a challenge.
It
for
is.
her.
Yeah.
It's not your nature.
Right.
Right, yeah.
I
Yeah.
like to nod a lot, so I had to stop my head from nodding. I want to say,
If she had not looked at me, maybe it would have helped.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
she was, I think,
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
That's why I turned around.
Can't do it, right?
I would have been laughing.
Yeah. Yes. Now, can you imagine a real situation if somebody was listening to you like that? How you would feel?
Weird.
Anger,
Yeah.
weird, uncomfortable, right? Closed off, right? And I love to, so for my speakers, for my listeners, was that easy? Was that easy for you all to try to? It's hard to do, right?
I wanted to know more about
You do.
I'm
I'm sorry. Say that again. Now you
I
said.
want to acknowledge and be part of what
Yes.
we had. It's a beautiful experience you did.
Yes. And it's so funny. It's like you wanted to acknowledge, but you still weren't even able to say anything. But non-verbally, you still wanted to give that acknowledgement, right? You wanted. I saw some of y'all fighting, right? Like smiles, right? And I'm glad that it's hard for you, right? That's because you're educators, right? So you want to give that powerful feedback. But here's the deal. This is the way that students sometimes feel that we listen to them. Okay? This is the way that they feel that we listen to them. And I'm going to break down examples of that. Give yourself a round of applause. Go back to your seat. There you go. Let's talk about it.
I could have finished my whole story.
So let's talk about it based on that exercise. The feedback that we give our students, whether it's verbal or non-verbal, creates that relationship between us. All right, and just like I call that the stone face exercise, students feel that. Students feel that. So you can't just be a great verbal communicator with your students to create a relationship. Your nonverbal communication has to be powerful, right? You need to understand that how you stand, how you sit, how you look at them, your eye gaze, all communicates a message and can create a strong relationship, right? And then how you verbally respond can as well. So I'm going to show you some of the different ways, it is in your pamphlet, that you can respond to your students. And I always tell my comm studies students, right, communication is an art form. It's not a science, right? It's not a science, right? Because if it was a science, you could do the same thing 1,000 times and get the same result, right? Right, great. If I open up my hand right here 100 times, this is always going to fall because there is gravity here, right? Communication doesn't work that way. I could deliver the same message. You could give the same lesson plan to 2 different classrooms. One classroom gets it, and the other one, you're like, what just happened there, right? So my goal is to give you as many tools on your tool belt and for you to then learn when to pull which one out, right? And so silent listening is what you just did right now. It's powerful nonverbal, well, you did the opposite, but powerful nonverbal cues, right? Good eye contact, okay? Facial expressions. Nodding of the head, leaning forward. That shows interest. That shows actual care. Cool, great. And silent listening. Hey, sometimes our students don't want us to fix their problems. They just want you to listen to them because nobody listens to them. They want to vent. You've all had bad days, and sometimes you just want to vent. You got to understand that's what that student wants in that situation. Questioning. You just ask for more information. Sometimes instead of helping the students solve it themselves, the greatest learning, does it not come from them figuring it out on their own? So can you ask questions to draw that out of them? Because if they learn it on their own, they won't forget it. They will not forget it. It's like an aha moment, right? As educators, we love that. When students say, oh, well then I should just do X, Y, and Z. And you're like, oh my goodness, thank you so much, right? You just made my day. You just made my day. Great. And then advising, okay, that's providing them with guidance. Now, sometimes students will tell you, I need advice. You give it to them. But sometimes they don't want advice from you. That's one of the reasons parent-kid relationships sometimes are a problem, because you'll have students that say, my parents are always trying to tell me what to do, trying to solve my problems. Mom and Dad, I'm trying to tell you this because I just want you to be there for me and listen to me, right? I don't necessarily always want you to solve it for me, right? You got to understand that. Great. And then analyzing, you just give them a perspective on something, right, that they may have not been able to see, right? That's what psychologists and psychiatrists do as well, okay? And then empathy. This is a big one, empathizing. Empathy is when you can communicate emotional connection with the actual students. And our students need that. Like, they need to know that they're not crazy, they're not alone for feeling the way that they do, you know? And that's a very, very powerful thing, right, for them. And sometimes they just want that. They want to know that they're not on their own, that you can totally emotionally connect to that. I have students, and I'll say, I remember college. I know how hard it must be to have to pay that much for books, right? Having to pay $300-400, right? You got to pay $150 for a biology book. I'm sorry, that's got to be really tough for you, right? I totally feel for you on that, right? They just want to know that you're there for them, that you actually empathize. And then this one you want to be careful of, right here, evaluating, okay? Passing judgment on students. A lot of times we get in that mode. They break the rules and we condemn them. They don't turn in assignments. We condemn them. We don't even know what's going on in their life, what 20 other things that are going on in their life, but we go straight to judgment of them. And none of us like to be judged. And if these are K through 12 students, they're used to being judged all the time, all right? Whether it's in person or even more so on social media, right? I'm not getting any likes, right? That's their world for them, right? And now here's this adult judging me now too. I am all alone, right? And so you want to be careful with those evaluations. The biggest one that I love is support. Support. When I say support, 2 biggest forms of that is actually providing help for them and praising them, giving them lots of praise. So I want to give you an example of ways you can utilize these different listening responses, all right, in your actual life. Have any of you heard of the sandwich technique?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, Miranda, you want to, stupid, I keep calling it, okay, you're good, okay, cool. Can you explain to them what it is?
So like a sandwich, you have the 2 pieces of bread, and they are surrounding the meat in the middle. So you would start with a positive piece of feedback, and then you would give them the critique, so what they need to improve, and then end it on a positive, so that, you know, it's like the critique is sandwiched between two positive pieces of feedback. So they feel more positive versus critique, critique, critique.
There we go. You get that? That's a powerful way to communicate to your actual students. You sandwich it. Now, I'm going to show you, I call it my impactful feedback sandwich that I create when it comes to my students, okay? That's making me hungry, okay? So here's an example of something that I might say. This situation's actually happened to me. Here we go. So scenario, a single parent student isn't turning in their assignments on time or doing well on their quizzes, causing their grade to suffer. Does this happen? All the time, right? Now I could go straight to just evaluate that student and say, you're doing terrible on the quizzes and you're not turning your assignments in. There's no way you're gonna pass this class. I could go there, right? I have created no relationship with that student. I just told them what they should do, right? Great, so let's look at a more impactful way to do it. Layer one, I'm gonna give them a empathizing and support praise sandwich, okay, to start off, okay, for that bun. I can imagine it must be really hard raising a child while trying to do, oh wait, did I do the wrong scenario? Yep, single parent, yep, okay, good, okay, good, great, like, so here we go. I can imagine it must be really hard having to raise a child while also trying to do well in school. There's that empathy, right? There we go, give them some support. I think it's great that you're so dedicated to being an amazing parent while also being dedicated to being a great student. That's like an amazing thing for you, all right? So here we go, here's the evaluation. Fortunately, you haven't consistently turned in your assignments on time and you're not doing great on your quizzes, which is why you're failing right now in the actual course, all right? Here we go. Third layer, support. I want to make sure that you pass this class. I want you passing this class. So after class today, I can sit down with you if you'd like, review all the concepts that are going to be on the next quiz and make sure that you have them down. We can also talk about some time management and study skills that really helped me when I was in school. There's a little empathy right there too, right? Because I struggled as a student. It was hard for me, right? You're smart. You're really, really smart. So I know you can excel in this class. We just got to make some adjustments. How's that sound to you? You get that? That's a conversation I'm going to have with that student. Now, I've never had a student say, that sounds terrible, man. Right? Like, I've never had that, right? They all appreciate that, right? Because I did still evaluate them. I gave them the truth, because you got to speak the truth out. But I also pumped them up. I let them know I'm there for them. And so this is an example of a sandwich technique utilizing all those positive feedbacks. Everybody get that? Is that good or great?
Great.
Yeah, it's really, really good stuff. So I'm going to give you all an opportunity to do that. We're going to close out with this, okay? The last two things. It's 10 minutes? Going to do 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay? Okay, good. All right, cool. So I'm going to give you all a scenario, okay? I'm going to give this table a scenario, this table a scenario. And I'm going to tell you how to create your sandwich, okay, when it comes to talking to the students. So here we go. Scenario one. This is going to be this team over here. You ready? There is an A student in your class who completes all of their work on time and contributes to class discussions, but at times will have brief side conversations with his friend while you are teaching. This never happens. Okay? It happens all the time, right? K through 12, college is going to happen. Your A students sometimes like to talk, right? These conversations distract you and other students. Now you got to talk to them. You ready? Okay. This is what I want you all to come up with as a group, okay, to share out. Layer one, I want you to give a good support praise statement to them, okay? Layer two, give them an evaluation and advice, because I consider that sometimes to be a critique when you give somebody advice, because what you're telling them is that you're doing something wrong, right? Okay, give them a nice little sentence or two that speaks to evaluation and advice, and then layer it, third layer, give them some support and praise, okay? So you'll talk amongst your teammates, come up with something to share out. Got that? All right, here we go. This is group number two. Here's yours. A student works for his parents' restaurant business while also trying to excel in class. He or she often comes to class tired and on a few occasions has fallen asleep in class. So you got a student that works for their parents, right? Yeah, this never happens either, right? Right? So you got a student who works for their parents. They got to work for their parents, right? While also going to school. You see them nodding off sometimes. Sometimes they actually fall asleep in class, right? Great. Talk to me. Layer one, give them some support, praise, and empathy. Layer two, evaluation. And then layer three, give them some support, praise, and help. Okay? You'll come up with that with you and your teammates, 5 minutes, then we'll share out. You go.
If I give you my camera, would you mind taking a couple pictures of me working with him right now? Oh, that'd be so cool.
All right, 10 more seconds. We think we good? We got him? All right, do me a favor. Clap it up, acknowledge your teammates. All right. And not only, am I giving things that work for me too, you can also see the way that I run. This is literally how I run a classroom. So if there's anything that I've done in here that you like, steal it. Okay, right? Like, you'll always notice I always say clap it up, acknowledge your partners. Okay, there's a reason behind that, right? Once again, creating that cohesion, right? We do lots of hand clap. My one student said that. He said, I've never clapped so much in a class in my life, okay? Like, I take that as a compliment, okay? Right? Better than you falling asleep in the class, right? All right, cool. Let's talk about it. So go ahead and pick a spokesperson to share out for your team. Here we go. So let's look at the scenario one. Here we go. A student in your class who completes all their work on time and contributes to class discussions, but at times will have brief side conversations with his friend while you are teaching. These conversations distract you and other students. Okay, so give me that sandwich. What are the things you would say?
All right, so for support and praise, first of all, we would pull the student aside after class so that doesn't create like any embarrassment or anything.
Great.
And then we would talk to them, say, hey, I noticed you're doing very well in this class. I know you're succeeding. That's great. I'm proud of you. But it seems, then we would go to evaluation. It seems that you're having to distract other children in the classroom. And that's not a bad thing that you're communicating with them. Like, I allow that. But it's during times where you can be distracting them, or they can hear the conversation and they might not be focusing properly.
Good.
Or even while I'm teaching, is a distraction. So I'd be like, maybe to advise, they can create a study group where within that group they can discuss anything that they wanted to discuss. Or also even like, since you're doing so well in the classroom, maybe you can help your other peers succeed as well with you, so that they'd be on your level as well. And for support and praise, I'd just be like, but I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing in terms of schoolwork, and hopefully we can work something out to where you can have your talk time and also help others as well in the process.
Love it. Clap it. Yeah. There you go. Right, that's a lot more impactful. Right, that's awesome. Great job. Well said. And the reason I love this kind of looking at it from this perspective, you see how the creative thought, right? Like the creative thought, it causes you to think of, okay, well, how can I like pump this student up and create an ally? You just created an ally. You said you're an A student. Hey, maybe you can help somebody else, right? That's awesome. Well said. Well said. All right, here we go. Let's go here. Let's talk about it. A student works for his parents, right? Our students often do that, right? Have to work. Okay. Restaurant business while also trying to excel in class. They are often tired, and on a few occasions have fallen asleep in class. Great. Talk to me. Let's see. Your sandwich is support, evaluation support. Yeah.
So what we came up with was, I admire that you are driven and support your family's business. I know that must be a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
However, I've noticed you're maybe not able to be present and attentive, which may negatively impact your performance in class. Your dedication to come to class, even though you're tired, is really admirable, and that work ethic will serve you well. So now we're getting into the support, praise, and help. Perhaps we can set up a time to review material that you missed and go over topics a little bit deeper. I can encourage you to take breaks, and to take breaks during class to try to, wake you up.
Yeah.
And I can also support you in having a conversation with your parents to possibly shift your schedule, your work schedule.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. The things that you're willing to do, things that you're asking them to do. Clap it up for them. That is great, and it's really important. She mentioned both of them. Also teach like conflict resolution. One of the big things in conflict resolution is when you're trying to, there's a thing called creating an assertion, which is instead of being aggressive, it's assertively tackling a problem. And the biggest step to that is you can make a request of what somebody else can do to solve the problem, but then you also have to speak out with what you're willing to do. Because if all you do is tell them what they need to do, what it communicates to them is, oh, I'm the problem, right? I thought we were in this relationship together, right? Right? But when you say, look, I'm willing to do this, can you do that? What you're doing is saying, we're both part of the actual problem, so let's both be part of the solution. You get that? Great. One more round of applause for that, all right? So that's just something that I utilize that maybe can be beneficial for you as well. And so in closing, okay, I just want to say this. I've been teaching in education almost 20 years now. I absolutely love it, okay? It is my passion, and there's nothing like finding your passion in life and in the world. My students often tell me, like, you always have so much energy. And I said, well, it's easy when you love what you do, right? It's so much easier when you love what you actually do. And education is the oldest profession, right? You can't learn anything without it being taught to you or you teaching it your actual self. And the fact that you're all willing and want to be on the front lines is ridiculously admirable. We need you all. I know I'm speaking to the choir when I say all this. We need you all right? We really do. And I hope you see yourselves as actual game changers. Like, you are the game changer in students' lives, right? You all could think about a teacher that you'll never forget, right? Mine was Mrs. Shaw, right? I got to finally have lunch with her a month ago. I haven't seen her in 15 years, and I got to see Miss Shaw. If you say Miss Shaw in Avid circles, they're like, Miss Vivian Shaw, she's like that person, right? And I love her to death. I love her to death, and you get to be that for so many of your actual students, and I think you should see that as an honor. You know that there are people out there that do jobs to where all they do is help other people become richer. Okay, now nothing wrong with that, okay? Nothing wrong with that, right? My fiance does that as well, but she is not fulfilled. She sees the things I get to do, and she's like, all I do is help other people make a whole lot of money, and I'm not doing anything impactful, right? So she's starting her own nonprofit, right? Okay, not as far as to do that as well, you know what I mean? But you all get to do that for a living. Every day. And so I hope you got something from what we talked about. I appreciate you all sharing from it as well. And I wish you nothing but the best in your lives. Give yourself a applause, everybody. That's awesome. And the last thing I was hoping, so I started my own business as well. This is my side business, which is I'm a motivational speaker for everything from how to do public speaking to becoming a great educator using actual communication. And so I need some more followers, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So if you would please do me a favor, okay, follow me on these three, both my Facebook, my Instagram, and Twitter.